as the red light goes out to signal the start of this 15-minute race around the 2.7 mile Oulton Park International Circuit, in contrast to the 1.1 mile Anglesey Circuit that this race should have taken place on. It's Ian Goff that's in the lead of the race, Neil Patton second, John Hutchinson's third. Ian Goff turns into the first corner first. He's already got a good advantage over Neil Patton going through his. He's in third place, here's Hutchinson, fourth is Chadwick. Needs to find a way past Neil Patton. He's going to try and do that now. He looks down the inside, going into Oulton Park. Over the brow comes Ian Goff. Patton still second, so Hutch hasn't found a way by yet. Four-time champion in regional Formula Ford, twice up here in the northwest and twice at Castle Combe, just about 5 or 6 years ago as well. So he's got plenty of experience. He's still very much a front runner, even in his late 40s. Whisper it quietly. Up Clay Hill. Neil Patton in the Patton Developments car in second position. For how much longer though? Because John Hutchinson it is having a look down the inside, going into Lodge Corner, not quite close enough to make that one work. So on to lap 4 we go. Goff still leading. Hutchinson has a look down the inside of Patton. I think he's made it work this time. Yes, he has. But it didn't cause a problem there for Hutchinson, who's moved up into second position now. We're on what should be the half-distance lap of this race. Already in the space of half a lap, Hutchinson has got away to the tune of 5 or 6 lengths from Neil Patton over the curbs there, going into his chicane. So Hutchinson really trying to get on terms with the race leader. Goff still has the advantage though. And at this moment in time, Hutchinson was thinking, is he too far away? Goff and Hutchinson, the gap's down to less than a second, I would think now. Turning through the second part of the chicane, Goff must now start to feel the heat, surely. Still, Goff has the advantage, but Hutchinson right in his slipstream. He dodges to the right-hand side of the circuit, but decides he won't make a move there. But as he doesn't make a move there, that reduces his options all the time. Now, only 2 corners really to go now. Through Druids they come then. It's still Goff that's ahead. Is Goff going to hold on to take victory? Hutchinson to the outside, but Goff moves across to block him. Now he moves across to the right hand side as Hutchinson goes down the inside. He locks up to Hutchinson. There's contact and Goff spins round. Hutchinson continues, but Hutchinson it is that's going to cross the line and take the win. John Hutchinson, his winning ways of return.
We can't complain. After testing yesterday, we thought it was going to be close again between myself and John. We made some changes to the car overnight and it's just transformed the balance, and we were able to go out there and push from the first lap, and I don't think we're headed through the whole session, and we put on a time that's quicker than I've ever gone around here, so things are still going in the right direction and we're happy with our performance.
Well, we had a couple of cars that were oversubscribed for Class B on our grid, and I think one of them, it's the guy's first race, which was a bit of a difficulty for him to come and go out qualifying. I think he spanned, caused a red flag, so that worked against me a bit because I came in last, so I had to go out, wait a lap. And then a few laps later they let the same car out of the pits as I was coming through the first corner, which ruined another lap. So it was difficult, but as I say, same for everyone, and I didn't make the best of it.
John Hutchinson, former champion, is next to him. He was 0.3 of a second slower. On row 2, it's teammates Chris Chisnell and Neil Patton as the race gets underway, and it's John Hutchinson in the black Van Diemen RFO that makes the best start, and he leads into Oulton Corner for the first time. In second place, it's Ian Goff. Stuart Sanders, number 17, going through there. Good start from him in the Swift SC92, but the top 2 already starting to get away. Look, John Hutchinson in the black car, Ian Goff in the mainly blue car. Down towards Foster's they go for the first time, heading into Knickerbrook. Just dipping down, and they'll climb back up the hill. So it's Hutchinson from Goff, and Goff getting a good run out of the corner, and Goff starting to threaten as they rise up Clay Hill under the Yokohama Bridge. And look, Goff's car on the inside of the circuit for the right hander at Druids, and it looks like he's going to make a move on the first lap of the race. Oh, good move, Ian. Ian Goff goes through into the lead of the race. John Hutchinson back down to second. End of lap 1, and it's Goff leading Hutchinson side by side for third. Is it Patton or Gardner? It's Patton that goes through in his car, the Van Diemen RF90, ahead of the similar car of Mike Gardner, who's returned to racing this weekend after the best part of a year out. And he's going very well on his comeback. He's got Mark Chadwick behind him. Mark, who's lying in 5th place in the championship coming into this round, qualified on the 3rd row of the grid today. He wasn't particularly happy with his qualifying performance. He will be looking to make up places. He's very much challenging for the championship this season, but you tend to fancy these two, Ian Goff and John Hutchinson, at the front of the order to take the title. A couple of years ago, it was John Hutchinson and Ian's older brother, Stuart Goff, that were battling for the championship. That was in 2003, and on that occasion, it was Hutchinson that took the title. Neil Patton there in 3rd position, just beginning to close back in on the top 2. He's dropped Mike Gardner and Mark Chadwick indeed, who are now battling over 4th and 5th places. Chadwick in the North Star Motorsport Van Diemen RF04, that's the newer looking black car. He's trying to find a way past Gardner. So on to another lap then, the start of lap number 4, and it is still Goff from Hutchinson. Goff, young driver in his early 20s, based in Nottingham these days. Hutchinson with a lot more experience and several championships already in his belt. He was the twice champion of Castle Combe around the turn of the millennium, the circuit down in Wiltshire, and then a twice victor in the Northwest Formula Ford Championship based up here at Oulton Park and Anglesey as well. Proves to be one of the most successful drivers in the category in recent seasons. Now battle on for the lead. John Hutchinson looking to go around the outside of Ian Goff there. I'm not sure if it was a genuine manoeuvre really though, if he was just trying to put the wind up Ian Goff for the moment. What Hutchinson's got to do is he's got to try and prevent Goff from defending too much, because what that will do is slow them down, and it really will bunch this top 3 up. Not only will it bunch the top 3 up, it could bring Mark Chadwick into the equation. In the background there you see the black car now ahead of the white car, so Mark Chadwick now ahead of Mike Gardner for 4th position. Goff for the moment is still defending, and that's really allowing Patton to keep with these two. About halfway round the 5th lap of the race now. A slender lead for Ian Goff, only a couple of tenths of a second, and Patton not much further back behind John Hutchinson, driver based up near Croft Circuit in North Yorkshire these days. Now, just a bit of understeer I think there for Ian Goff, and that gave John Hutchinson the scent to try and get up the inside. He'll switch again to the outside. Goff defends on the inside line but moves across to the middle of the circuit and towards the outside of the circuit as they turn into lodge more or less his normal racing line though as they went through the corner, and Goff holds on. Hutchinson 2nd, Patton 3rd, Chadwick 4th. Goff, Hutchinson, Chadwick, Patton, then a gap back to Mike Gardner, who's still in 5th position in the number 42 car. That's the white Mick Gardner racing car. Still Paul Mason in 6th, trying to fend off Chris Chisnell for all his work in the background. That's a good dice going on there. In fact, Paul Mason is trying to attack against Mike Gardner as well. There's that trio coming down into dear lead now. Jimmy Ebrel in the blue Van Diemen in 8th position still. Now down the inside goes John Hutchinson for the lead of the race. Does he make that one stick? I think he does. Yes, he does. John Hutchinson goes through at the start of lap 13. The black Van Diemen takes the lead of the race, and the former champion is back in front. Ian Goff down to 2nd position, and while that's been going on, look, Mark Chadwick has closed right up on the top 2. It's now 3 for the lead. Patton, the championship leader, just a little bit off this group of cars. It's now Hutchinson from Goff, but Goff's not giving up. He looks again to try and make that move up towards Druids as he did on the first lap of the race, but he's not got up the inside this time. Hutchinson's wise to that one now, turning through Druids. It's Hutchinson, it's Goff, it's Chadwick, then a break back, and then it's Patton. Chadwick all over the dirt on the exit of Druids, but Patton can't capitalise. He's too far back to do that. Through dearly. And across the start and finish line they'll go. Paul Mason just ahead of Chris Chisnell in the background there for 5th position. Round the outside goes Ian Goff, but we've seen John Hutchinson try that move so many times during the course of this race. It's not worked for Hutchinson, it's not going to work for Ian Goff either. And again, Goff will have to try something different now. Down the avenue into Cascades. Now the right-hander at Foster's. Not really an overtaking opportunity there, although Patton tries to go round the outside of Chadwick, trying to get alongside Hutchinson there. They'll wheel to wheel, the 2 leaders, but I think Hutchinson, yes, he just moves across, just moves through to defend against Ian Goff, who now moves across the circuit as Mark Chadwick tried to sneak up on the inside of him but Goff defended into Druids. It's Chadwick still in third place, Goff still in second, but John Hutchinson still in the lead. Round Druids they go for a 15th time then. Only 2 or 3 laps left in this race now. 20 minutes of Oulton Park. Foster's number up the inside goes Mark Chadwick. Ian Goff locks up. Mark Chadwick goes through. Does Goff have an answer? No, he doesn't. He might lose out to Neil Patton as well, who gets a better run out of Lodge Corner to cross the line now for 15 laps. It's Hutchinson leading by 7/10 of a second. From in second place now, Mark Chadwick. Goff goes down to third, only a 10th back, and it's another 15 100s back to Neil Patton in fourth place. But Ian Goff, the former race leader, is falling back. Wheel to wheel, up Clay Hill, puff of dirt there, and you wonder if someone got a wheel on the grass. Everyone seems to have made it through. Up Clay Hill, through Druid, Hutchinson, Chadwick, Goff and Patton. That's the top 4. These 3 running absolutely together, but look, they've really let John Hutchinson get away. He's holding on to third position, but he's really having to work hard for it. That car is not doing what he wants. He's losing ground to Chadwick now in second place. Patton throwing the car up the inside as they come across the line to start the final lap now. It's Hutchinson well out front. Chadwick in second place. Patton has gone through to third. Goff down to fourth position onto the final lap of the race. And Ian Goff's race, well, you just saw his helmet there. He was looking down at something. He must feel that there's a problem with the car going on to this final lap of the race. And it looks to me as if it's going to be a second win of the season for John Hutchinson, lying in fourth place coming into this championship round. The former champion, I think, is going to go away with his position very much improved to go into third place if he holds on to this win. Hutchinson now amid some of the back markers. That's the J-man of Carl Hemming ahead of him. I think Martin Coburn is there as well. I think Hutchinson will pretty clear the J-man that finished on the podium in the World H Trophy in the hands of Nathan Freak last year before he gets to the checker flag. Hutchinson turning through. Where's Ian Goff though? The fourth position man seems to have fallen back. There's the checkered flag though. John Hutchinson delighted with his race victory. In second place is Mark Chadwick. Neil Patton in third position. There's the confirmed results. Look, Ian Goff down in seventh place. So Chris Chisnell fourth, Paul Mason fifth, James Everell completing the top 6. It's the 9th round of the Opel Telecom Club Formula Ford North West post 1989 championship, and with 5 races still to go including this one, it's still a 5-way battle for the title. Today the front row of the grid sees former champion John Hutchinson on pole position, but current championship leader Neil Patton is next to him. Chris Chisnell and Ian Goff are on row 2, Mark Chadwick, the 5th of those challengers, and Jimmy Everell on the 3rd row of the grid. So we're waiting for the start then for a 20-minute race. It gets underway now. It's John Hutchinson on the left-hand side of the circuit, and he has the lead from Neil Patton as they turn into Old Hall Corner for the first time. Ian Goff there through into third position, so ahead of Chris Chisnell. It's Hutchinson that leads, Patton in second place. In third place is the Swift SC95 of Ian Goff. In fourth place it's Chris Chisnell. In fifth place Mark Chadwick. In sixth place Jimmy Everell, and in seventh place Jamie Stanley, up one place from the start. And it's almost side by side for second position there, with Ian Goff deciding better than to have a look at the inside of Neil Patton going into his that time. So Hutchinson just beginning to get away to the tune of 3 or 4 lengths as they go through his chicane. So John Hutchinson it is that's got the advantage then off the start, and he's turning right now through Lodge Corner ahead of Neil Patton, ahead of Ian Goff. There's Steve St Clair in car number 8, the second of the North Star Motorsport cars. He's the teammate of Mark Chadwick. Oh, and there, confirmation that John Hutchinson has actually got a 10-second penalty, and that is for jumping the start. Well, we knew he'd got a good one, but we didn't know quite how good. Now, this is interesting because although he's leading the race on the road, he's going to have a 10-second penalty applied at the end of the race, and so he's going to need to try and pull away by that amount to win the race outright. At the minute, he's probably going to drop back to around about 9th or 10th position, I would think. This is the third lap of the race then, and now Goff looking to the outside to try and drive around the outside of Patton. Long way round, it looks like it might have just worked. Has it? Well, they're overlapping wheels more or less. Can Patton fight back? He'll have the better line for Old Hall Corner, but I don't think he will. I think Goff has made that place stick. Yes, Ian Goff through to second position then. But Patton gets alongside Goff as they head into the island hairpin. Can he go around the outside? No, he can't. Will he switch back to the inside on the exit of the corner? No, he doesn't. So Goff holding on to second place on the road. He's now going to have a look at Hutchinson as well, although he doesn't really need to. Hutchinson making his car very wide there, not really giving Goff the opportunity to dive up the inside, and while Goff's been distracted by that, Neil Patton has gone back through into second position. Well, Goff there losing out really, trying to get past Hutchinson, he couldn't do so. Clear track there for Patton on the left hand side of the circuit. He went through, but Goff now tries to fight back as they head up to Druid's corner, I beg your pardon, but he doesn't make it through as yet. Patton holding on to second position and effectively the lead of the race. So Hutchinson, now Goff on the inside this time of Patton going to Lodge. Last time he was on the outside of the corner, and perversely it seems though going around the outside worked a little bit better. Patton certainly holding on as they go through the corner. I think he's going to have kept his second position as they head up to Old Hall Corner to start lap number 5 of the race. Let's have a look. Yes, it looks like he has done, but Hutchinson's still out front, but with this penalty he will drop towards the back end of the top 10, I would think, going down the hill. And where have they gone as they head up to Island Corner? Patton and Goff are missing. Well, there's Goff, his nose are flapping, so I would suggest there's been contact there. Through the right-handers at Druids, and then to Lodge for the two leaders who've now got away from the third place fight. There goes Chadwick for the lead, but he can't quite make it stick. He had the inside line. They both run a little bit wide on the exit of Old Hall Corner, going on to lap number 8. Meanwhile, of course, John Hutchinson has won many a race, many a title as well, a 4-time champion in regional Formula Ford, twice at Castle Combe and twice at the Northwest Series based at Oulton Park and Anglesey. Those series coming in for successive years, not been as successful for the last couple of seasons, not necessarily participated on a regular basis as he has done this year. He's not going to win this race as things stand. I think he must now be in about 4th position on adjusted times now because of the gaps that have built up further back. Chadwick to the outside round Lodge, can't make it work. Will he switch to the inside through Dearly? No, he won't. So through towards Old Hall Corner to start lap 9 they go now, and it's still very close for the lead, but it's just Hutchinson, despite them getting briefly side by side going into the corner. Side by side over the hill top. Oh, and it looks like there's been some contact at the hairpin, which we perhaps just missed, because you can see there's a big lock up there from Chadwick, who's lost his nose as well. There it goes, flying off. So Chadwick, now without the nose section of that car, has gone ahead though of John Hutchinson. Hutchinson down to second. Third is Chisnell, who's beginning to make a break now from Ebrel in 4th place. And now it's Hutchinson's turn to lock up, but it's not quite as fruitful as the move by Chadwick a few corners ago. So coming through to complete lap number 9 now then, pretty much despite whatever Mark Chadwick has thrown at him this race, with that exception of the previous lap where Chadwick got ahead for a few corners. And now Chadwick makes a mistake. I think he misses a gear there, and that allows Chris Chisnell to go through into second place, and that of course represents the lead of the race. And there goes the last lap board, so we come on to the 13th and final lap of the race now, up towards Island Hairpin for the final time. Has Chadwick got anything left? He'll be thinking that he's on course for second place. Stanley looks like he's going to be able to hold on to the 5th position from Ian Goff there, who'll be disappointed with this, but it's still points for the championship, of course. Checkered flag is out, checkered flag waves to John Hutchinson. Now what's going on in the battle for 5th position? Stanley still ahead of Ian Goff, but Goff trying to find his way through. Goff up the inside there, oh, there's contact, and Jamie Stanley rolls over. Jamie Stanley upside down there, up into the barriers on the left hand side of the circuit went Ian Goff as well. Yellow flags are waving there. That's a very big accident indeed. Well, let's have a look. It's just contact there, the left front wheel on the right rear wheel of Jamie Stanley's car, as Ian Goff tried to find a gap. Well, maybe there wasn't a gap there, maybe there was. It was very tight. I don't think you can really put that down to too much other than a racing incident, as Stanley skids along on this roll hoop, and possibly even his helmet as well. There might be some damage to that. And look here how the car then just flips back over again, back onto its wheels, and that's the way it lands. But both of those cars very badly damaged. Fortunately though, the drivers are both okay. The Opel Telecom Club Formula Ford North West Championship returns to Anglesey for the 10th and 11th rounds of the season. About to get underway, it does so now, and it's a better starter fancy by John Hutchinson from the outside of row 1, but Mark Chadwick has the inside line on the way into school corner. He splashes through the puddles but takes the lead. Further back, you can see Barry Lindley driving around the outside of Nigel Doe to move into 5th position, heading into Abbots then for the first time. The top two already starting to get away in their late model Van Diemen's, the North Star Motorsport car of Mark Chadwick, the Medina Sport car of John Hutchinson, getting away from third place driver Neil Patton, and down towards the hairpin for a second time. And yes, there's Hutchinson keeping away out of the spray of Chadwick, who turns in to the hairpin now. Apex taking the corner, getting back on the power ever so gently so as to avoid turning that car around, with Hutchinson in close pursuit. Oh, but there's Chadwick, and he's going backwards. He's off on the grass on the outside of the circuit, and our race leader has gone off. This one of the final races to take place on the current Anglesey layout. It's closing down after this meeting. Change for second is the yes, there is this time. Chisnell goes up to second position, and now he's already latched onto the gearbox. Look how close he is to the car of John Hutchinson. Can he mount an attack? Possibly down into the hairpin. That's the next corner they're coming to. Hutchinson dives out and slips to his go to the outside of the circuit, though. Hutchinson certainly wouldn't let him go down the inside. Trying to go around the outside, is he? He can't go all the way around. It's just too wet. It's just too greasy. Switches back to the inside, but that doesn't work. Back onto the start and finish rate, and side by side now between Chisnell and Hutchinson. Chisnell has the inside line for school corner, but he can't make it stick, so Hutchinson holds on as John Hutchinson comes through to collect the checkered flag in round 10 of the Club Formula Ford North West Championship. On board there with Neil Patton on the inside of row number 2, so Hutchinson on the right, Chisnell on the left. The race gets underway, and it's the better start this time from Chris Chisnell, and he's going to grab the lead as the field heads down towards school corner for the first time. So it's Chisnell from Hutchinson, Patton in third position, unless Barry Lindley or Mark Chadwick can find a way through. They've not done so yet, so Patton holding on to third position. You can see how much better conditions are. Completely dry track today. Through the radar complex onto the top straight then. Chris Chisnell in the white Infinity Motorsport Van Diemen RF00 has the lead from the Medina Sport version of John Hutchinson in second place. Changing the order up at the front. It's still Chisnell from Hutchinson and Patton turning into school corner for a fourth time. One of the most daunting corners in UK racing. It's a corner that will still exist on one of the new layouts at Anglesey when the circuit reopens next spring. It's the pit straight, the only parts of the track being retained for the new layout. Hutchinson trying to go around the outside of Chisnell this time on to lap 4. That gives Patton the sniff of an opportunity down the inside. He had a look, but he couldn't capitalise. So Hutchinson doesn't look to be in any imminent danger of taking the lead away from Chris Chisnell. The gap was a second at the start of the lap, and it's increasing, I fancy. Well, it's coming down again to 1.232 seconds, so little by little Hutchinson is closing in on race leader Chris Chisnell. Now, Hutchinson's definitely closer. The gap was 1.5 seconds a couple of laps ago. It's now down to around about half a second. Oh, I'm much closer at the front now, starting lap number 15. It's still Chisnell that's ahead, but Hutchinson pushing him hard into school corner. Very determined effort indeed. We've probably got, 7 or 8 minutes left in this race now. And certainly Hutchinson is keen to use those to get through. Still Patton in third place in the background. There's now around about 4 seconds between these two pairs of cars. Hutchinson to the outside. Can he get the car out of the corner a little bit quicker than Chisnell? No, he can't. Still Chisnell holding on. Tell a lie, Doe's now got ahead of MacArthur, up into the top 6 round the outside. Well, that was Chisnell trying to defend from Hutchinson, but Hutchinson's gone through into the lead at school corner, and so at the start of lap number 16, John Hutchinson has overturned Chris Chisnell's advantage. The pace to do it, he goes to the outside going into the hairpin. Can he make it work? He gets his nose alongside that of Hutchinson, tries to get a better exit out of the corner, but Hutchinson holds on. Oh, what's up there? That's Nigel Doe! Nigel Doe rolling over. and he's ended up on the grass. I think there must have been contact there from Neil MacArthur. So there goes Hutchinson and Chisnell, but red flags are shown, and so result declared with John Hutchinson the winner on count back to lap 16 from Chris Chisnell. Neil Patton winning Class B, Mark Chadwick 4th, Baron Inley 5th, Neil MacArthur completing the top 6. It's the penultimate round of the Opel Telecom Club Formula Ford Northwest Post 1989 Championship, and 4 drivers are still in with a mathematical chance of the title. John Hutchinson and Mark Chadwick the most likely contenders, but it's Chris Chisnell on pole position. Ian Goff should have been next to him on his return to the championship, but an off on oil in qualifying has stymied his chances. He does not start the race. We're about to get underway then. Chris Chisnell in the white car, alone on the front row, pole position for the first time this season, and he is going to take the lead going into Oulton Corner from John Hutchinson in second place. It's Chisnell that leads the way, Hutchinson second, Chadwick is third. Drivers climbing their way up Clay Hill towards Druids for the first time in a 20-minute race around the 1.6 mile Foster's Circuit. Chisnell, a winner of 4 races in 2005, but yet to have a victory in 2006. He's leading the way with John Hutchinson though trying to go around the outside of him going into Lodge Corner for the first time, but he tucks back into second place, but now he switches back to the inside line through Deer Leap and over the line to complete the first lap then. And does he get ahead? Yes, I think he does. So John Hutchinson takes the lead. He has already had 4 wins in the championship this season. If he gets win number 5 today with the fastest lap, that will be enough to guarantee him the title. They climb up Clay Hill under the bridges. John Hutchinson it is in the Medina Sport car that leads the race from the Infinity Motorsport Van Diemen of Chris Chisnell, and then the North Star Motorsport Van Diemen RF04 of Mark Chadwick, who had 1 win here at Oulton Park earlier in the season. He's looking for a second this weekend, and he's going up the inside of Chris Chisnell. So Chadwick, Hutchinson this time not making that bold lunge up the inside that he did a lap ago. He's an experienced driver, John Hutchinson. He'll be biding his time, waiting for the right opportunity to try and find a way past the new race leader, Mark Chadwick. 8 laps now in the book. Lap 11 for the race leaders. Chadwick and Hutchinson, time running out for Hutchinson now. Usually these 20-minute races around the Foster's Circuit will count at 18 laps. So, has Hutchinson got something planned? He's a little bit far back at the moment. No, he tucks back in. Will he switch to the inside line coming out of the corner? We'll have to wait and see. And there's a change of lead because John Hutchinson is back up front in this race. Mark Chadwick then having led for around about 7 laps, but by the end of lap 14, the start of lap 15, John Hutchinson back through into the lead in the car number 0 run by the Medina Sport team of John LaBelle, and if things stay this way, it's going to be a championship title for Medina Sport, a championship title for John Hutchinson. Along the straight towards Lodge Corner he comes, Mark Chadwick to the outside. Very good defensive line taken there by John Hutchinson, really giving Chadwick no opportunity but to try and drive all the way around the outside of him, which is not really a viable opportunity. Chadwick has got to do something now. He's got to act fast. Looks to the outside of Hutchinson going into Oulton Corner. Hutchinson holds him off. Final lap number 18. And Hutchinson now just 1.5 miles between himself and a 5th regional championship in FF1600. It will make him one of the all-time most successful drivers in Club FF1600 racing. Likes of Gavin Wills and Kevin Mills have picked up multiple regional titles, in particular down at Castle. But John Hutchinson gunning for his 5th success. 1 corner to go now, and this is Lodge Corner. They've got 1 slower car ahead of them. Mario Sarche keeping well out of the way in the Infinity Motorsport Van Diemen RF91. Out of Lodge Corner and up Deer Leap, and John Hutchinson is going to cross the line. Checkered flag is out, and John Hutchinson is the 2006 Opel Telecom Club Formula Ford Northwest title. There is nothing Mark Chadwick can do now with 1 race remaining here at Oulton Park. Well, the results look like this then. John Hutchinson winning by half a second. Chris Chisnell a further 4 seconds back in 3rd. Oh, John, well, that's one of the tougher races this year, isn't it?
That was a brilliant race, and I think, you know, Chad's just come so far this year. You know, I think when he goes to Walter Hayes, he'll surprise a few people, and it's been a very good year.
And what happened mid-race then to let Chadwick get through?
I went too deep on the brakes into Foster's, got really high on the curbs, so I just had to ease it back on the track without spinning, and by then it was side by side, and I just thought better of going for the corner because there was a few laps left and I think we would have gone off, so I had to let him through.
And what about the decisive move to get back?
Can't even remember where it was. I think it was down the pit straight, off memory, I don't know. I think it was down the pit straight. I think Chad had just got in a bit too tight at this last corner. I got the run on him and it was quite a smooth overtake. That's right, just pulled up out of him from the last corner. So but it was, I mean, for both of us to lead that race was very difficult for concentration because it was greasy in all sorts of different areas. I mean, sometimes at Druids we were down to third gear really slow, and then the next lap it was quick again. It was very hard to race.
So the pre-1990 Opel Telecom Club Formula Ford North West drivers couldn't make it all the way to the checkered flag. Let's see if the Class A and B cars fare any better. There was a ding-dong battle in qualifying this morning, and Mark Chadwick eventually edged out John Hutchinson by about a quarter of a second. Hutchinson already confirmed of the title. So 17 cars taking to the grid for this, the final round of the championship, the final Formula Ford race at Oulton Park this season. The race gets underway now with Mark Chadwick with the red nose just edging ahead of John Hutchinson with the blue nose going into the first corner. Good start there from Ollie Radford. He's up into 5th position, I think, having started back on 7th. Going wide there is Jonathan Barnes in contact, and the car going off to the left-hand side of the circuit is the Mondale of Neil Hunt. The race continues though, and let's see who's out front. It's still Mark Chadwick leading, John Hutchinson in 2nd place, Chris Chisnell is in 3rd position, into Knickerbrook for the first time in what should be 11 lap race. Up towards Lodge Corner for the first time there, Mark Chadwick, number 7, who's had 1 win to his name, trying to defend from Hutchinson, closes the door as they went into Lodge Corner. Chadwick would dearly like to win a race on the road as well. Turning now through the right-hander at Old Hall at the start of lap number 2 of the race. In 6th place, it looked like number 84, James Cole, who started in that place, briefly lost ground, but has climbed back up the order. Now Hutchinson sniffs a chance here. He's getting alongside Chadwick as they go down towards Cascades, but he's on the wrong side of the circuit really. Has to dive back in. He's not able to go back through on the inside, but Hutchinson is giving Mark Chadwick a really hard time, and in doing so he's letting Chris Chisnell stay right with them, and Chris Chisnell now looking particularly racy down into Island Bend. We've seen him pass cars at the left-hander before, but he's not done so on this occasion, and still the top 4 remain in the same order. But now I think Oliver Radford and James Cole just getting sucked onto the back of this lead battle. But now Patton senses him, he's going to go round the outside, going into Lodge Corner, wheel to wheel they go. Is this wise? No, it's not. Patton runs out of road, he gets on the dirt, he gets on the curb, and he's lost ground there. Oliver Radford goes through, James Cole goes through, and Neil Patton goes back down to 6th position from 4th. And so close is it that in no time at all Patton lost 2 places, and now Mark Chadwick very nearly loses the lead because John Hutchinson had a big look up the inside at Old Hall that time. Chisnell tries to go up the inside, side by side with Hutchinson, but Hutchinson again moves across. Now back with the leaders then, on to lap number 7, and Hutchinson really is not giving up. That time through, the gap was only around about a 10th of a second between 1st and 2nd, and you saw that Hutchinson was a bit scrappy there going through Old Hall. That could give Chisnell a chance. Well, not really, he's not quite close enough yet. Still in 4th place, Radford, the IT man from Derbyshire, and James Cole, still only a teenager. His father, Chaz Cole, the well-known music promoter, heavily involved in the career of Daniel Clark as well, and it looked like in the background there Cole was trying to put a move on Oliver Radford. We'll see if that worked out in a moment. No, it didn't, so Radford holds on to 4th place. Meanwhile, the top 3 drivers have now gone away, and a scrappy sideways moment there for Mark Chadwick. It's not going to cost him too dear though, because they've got the chicane again to sort themselves out. Now coming up to the end of lap number 7 now then, Hutchinson tries to throw the car up the inside at Lodge Corner, but he can't make it through. Based these days at Croft-on-Tees in North Yorkshire. Hutchinson commutes for the races at Oulton Park and Anglesey. Lap 8 gets underway, and going wide there at Old Hall Corner is the race leader Mark Chadwick, and that surely must have lost him time. Let's see what happens as they go down the avenue. It's John Hutchinson that's taken the lead. Mark Chadwick now having to fight off the 3rd place car of Chris Chisnell. Chadwick just tentatively Having a look at Hutchinson there. Hutchinson, who's had 5 wins already. So down towards Knickerbrook. Hutchinson, Chadwick, Chisnall, Radford, Cole. And a spin there for Chadwick. He goes round, he clips Chris Chisnall. It looked like Chadwick was trying to be very late on the brakes. He was too late on the brakes, I fear. His car spun round. Chisnall, well, he was caught up in that through no fault of his own. Oliver Radford, I think, went the right way. Both drivers stepping out of their cars. Their race run, well, let's hope there's no ill feeling between their two drivers. Where to go, we can see on the replay just what happened. And it looked like Chadwick was too late on the brakes. He tagged the rear of Hutchinson's car, maybe. He spun round. Chisnall couldn't avoid him, damaged the suspension from the same angle that we saw this from originally. No sign of the contact from that angle. You can see Radford stepped on the anchors, and he guessed right, really. He went the right way. Now Oliver Radford, he is up into second position as a result of all this, but he's got that wrong, going into the hairpin, and off he goes into the gravel. You can just see from the on-board shot with Neil Patton, Oliver Radford skating helplessly into the gravel, which means that with not very long left to go in this race, we have a Medina Sport 1-2 at the front of the order, because the champion, John Hutchinson, is run by John LaBelle's team, as is young James Cole. And he's there in second place, and there is only around about 1.2 seconds between the two of them. There are Chadwick on the left and Chisnall. Well, I don't think there's any ill feelings between the two of them by the look of it. So here comes John Hutchinson with just over a lap to go. Last lap board goes out. Mark Chadwick, it would appear, making a couple of mistakes, and I think the first one really led to the second, as he felt the pressure to try and get back out front and to take a win that wouldn't give him the championship, but would give him an awful lot of pride at the end of the season. But as it is, John Hutchinson looks to be on course to take win number 6. But coming through to take the checkered flag is the champion. It's John Hutchinson taking win number 6, but an excellent result for James Cole, an excellent result for Medina Sport, a 1-2 for them. Infinity Motorsport settling for 3rd position on this occasion. A formation drive through there by the two Medina cars. Confirmation of the results then. It was John Hutchinson that took the win from James Cole.